La experiencia peruana,
which stands for
the
the
Peruvian experience.
So, we're gonna be talking about how it's like being Peruvian American. Yeah, so first we can start off with the food. So, what's your favorite food, Quinn?
My favorite food, una jalea mixta. You know what jalea mixta is, audience? If you don't, it's it's like you take all these it's like a seafood mix, right? So you have like tilapia, you have shrimp, you have calamari, you have scallops and stuff, right? You like kind of put it all together and you deep fry it, right? So it's like really crunchy and crispy, and then like some onions, like an onion salad. So it's like we do like onions and then we like cover it in like lime and stuff. That's like my current favorite Peruvian dish. What about you, Hasmin?
So, my favorite Peruvian food is pollo a la brasa. So, it's basically rotisserie chicken. It's really good with a side of fries. In Peru, it's not usually eaten with rice on the side, but I eat it with rice on the side. Coca-Cola, which is a Peruvian soda. No one can really tell the taste of it. It's kind of hard to describe it. It's like bubble gum.
Yeah, that's what people tell me when
mm-hmm.
they like give it to them. But if you ever want like a real like authentic pollo brasa, you have to make sure that whoever's making it is making it with a wood burning oven.
Next topic is colorism. So, can you explain the colorism in Peru?
So, because we live in the Americas, and the Americas like conquered by like European countries, and European countries have like this Eurocentric view on like social hierarchy in which like the whiter you are, like the better you are in society. And Peru is among like those like American countries, like we're South America that were like conquered by Spaniards, still left the ideologies of like the darker you are, like the less you are in society, and like the lighter you are, the better off you are in society. From my personal experience, my grandfather's like a black man, right? Um, my mom's brother is like black, and then like she just ended up not getting those genes. Like she ended up being like a very pale woman. However, my grandmother on my dad's side, before we were born, was kind of in denial about the fact that me or my brother could have turned out black, right? Because it's within our genetics. It's like a complete possibility. But she was so worried. Like it was like she was very very worried about the fact that we were gonna end up dark skinned. Like she would talk to my mom. She'd be like, "There's no way your kids can be black. Like if they're black, like you did something wrong and this and that." And that's not the case. It's just within our genetics. But she was super worried, which is like just one example of like how like darker skinned people to this day are like still viewed in Peru. Like it seems like it's an unfortunate thing if you come out darker skinned. Do you know of any like examples of colorism in Peru like that?
This isn't based on my personal experience, but my mother, since she is from Peru, so she went to these group of ladies who accused this guy of robbery just because he was black, but he was actually just jogging. But there's also, besides colorism, there's also discrimination against Central Americans just because they don't have a proper education and they also lack a lot of mannerisms. And there's also discrimination within the country of Peru. Like if you're from a low income family or you're not from the city and if you live in the jungle, then they would really just discriminate you. But now it's diverse. A lot of
Peru has like always, we have like a very diverse history. There'd be a lot of first of all indigenous people from like the Incas who were like originally on the land before we got colonized. There'd be Spaniards. I would assume would be like the second most like percentage. We would have Arab in us. We would have a lot of, well, some of us would have like a lot of like Chinese and Japanese within us because there was like also a big migration of Chinese and Japanese people.
So from my experience, I always thought I was like ego. I had a high ego just because of my nationality, and I honestly think that's like pretty weird. And I've gotten a lot of hate from it, from my friend who's also Peruvian. She's like, she used to have this big friend group, and they would always just like talk about me. She was also known for being a little stuck up. Like, so, what about you, Quinn?
I think I feel the same way. Like there is like this big stigma especially so like despite the fact that there's like a lot of Hispanics within the U.S., there's still like a divide between like the Hispanics. So there's like Central Americans who like tend to stick together, and then there's like Southern Americans like me and Jasmine who come from Peru, and like uh, there's like this stereotype that yeah we are like stuck up, and it's not that we're stuck up. I think Peruvians just as a culture, for whatever reason, we just tend to keep to ourselves a little bit more. Like we're a little bit shy, or not as like open as like Central Americans are, being like loud and open. Like you tend to come off as standoffish, but it's really not like that. Cause like you get to know a Peruvian, and then like we have like a lot of like really traditional like giving values like instilled within us from like a young age. I feel like Hasmin, I feel like is like really generous as a Peruvian. I feel like that's like something that we share in common. Like we have it a lot. Like, and I think we're like really kind as well. And it's just something that maybe you might not see like off the bat, but if you like get to know Peruvian, like you'll realize pretty quick.
Yeah. And also, fun fact, we eat, well, not we, I haven't personally tried it, but we eat guinea pigs. It's a shocker.
We fry them up.
We eat them.
Like your pet, like I don't know, what's a guinea pig name?
Squinkly.
Your what?
Squinkly.
Squinkly? Like your pet Squinkly? We be frying him up.
Yeah. And to describe the taste, I think it tastes like chicken,
People
right?
say it tastes like, I've
Yeah.
never had it either, my brother
Okay.
has, but people say it tastes like chicken.
Yeah, so it's a shocker. Okay, thank you.
Adios.